Welcome back. In this video, we will discuss flexible budgets, which create budgets for multiple levels of production. By comparing the actual costs to the budget for the actual production level, this allows for performance to be evaluated relative to a more accurate standard. Therefore, through accurate performance evaluation, flexible budgets help provide managers with constant feedback needed for planning and controlling costs. For the flexible budget examples in this video, we will look at a hypothetical firm that creates numbered jerseys. Let's begin by making the budgets for producing 500, 700, and 900 units. Each unit requires one jersey at $2.50 each, and 4 patches of numbers at 25 cents each, which means that the direct materials variable cost per unit is $3.50. Each unit requires 0.2 hours of labor at $7.50 an hour, or a direct labor variable cost per unit of $1.50. Variable overhead includes 0.15 hours for maintenance at $3.50 an hour, or a variable cost per unit of $0.525, and 0.15 hours for utilities at 1.5 per hour, or a variable cost per unit of $0.225. You can multiply each of the variable costs per unit by the level of production to determine the expense for each level, or the total variable cost per unit of $5.75 to determine the total variable expenses for each production level. By adding the fixed overhead costs, which include groundskeeping of $1,440 per quarter and depreciation of $750 per quarter, you can determine the total production costs for each level of production. With this information, managers can undertake a performance report to evaluate how their actual performance compared to their budgeted costs. If actual production results in the following expenses, managers can create the following performance report to evaluate the degree to which actual expenses deviated from budgeted costs. Going over budget is considered an unfavorable variance, while going under budget is considered a favorable variance. While a flexible budget does make a performance report more accurate than using a static budget, using an activity-based flexible budget will be even more accurate. Let's move on to a different example and try to create an activity-based flexible budget using the following 5 overhead activities. Using the information given at the top, we can create the production budgets for 36,000 units and 72,000 units. The expenses in this budget are comprised of the fixed component and the variable component, which is made up of the variable rate times the driving factor. For instance, the maintenance expense for 36,000 units is made up of $21,500 for the fixed component, plus $5.4 times 18,000 machine hours, for a total of $97,200. At this point, managers can perform an activity-based performance analysis. If the following actual costs were incurred while producing 36,000 units, managers would create this performance report to evaluate the variance. Thank you for watching this video on flexible and activity-based flexible budgets. The following video will examine overhead variance analysis.